Good evening, I'm Amy Vilgas. Thank you for joining us tonight. First, a follow-up. Results from the Environmental Protection Department are back. The group determined a sample taken at the water treatment facility found that there is no trace of petroleum in the water coming from the Peace River. Northport's main water supply comes from the Myakkahatchee Creek, but the Peace River is used as a backup. This comes after a fuel tanker crashed on I-75 on Friday night, and the oil it was carrying spilled out. Oil sheens were spotted in nearby ditches, which is connected to the water treatment facility.
We did have a couple heavy rainstorms between Friday night and Monday. So what happened is the swale system along I-75 where the oil was contained had breached come Monday morning.
The DEP plans to use water from the Peace River until all of the tests show that the water is safe in the Myakkahatchee Creek. Some people living on Siesta Key are also worried about their water quality. This comes after a discharge from the wastewater treatment facility there last month. Sarasota County says that more than 3 million gallons of partially treated wastewater discharged into the Siesta Key Grand Canal on August 31st. County officials say this controlled spill was done when the plant had reached full capacity because of storm waters brought on by Tropical Storm Hermine. Otherwise, this would have caused raw sewage to spill out. Experts say residents should not be concerned with the water quality, but some Siesta Key residents are playing it safe.
We just moved to the neighborhood about a month ago, and it was brought to our attention, and we feel that we're far enough downstream that it doesn't affect us, but it is a concern since it is waste going into our water.
The wastewater treatment facility on Siesta Key was originally scheduled to be shut down this year. Now county officials say that won't happen until the end of next year. President Obama has officially declared a major disaster for areas in Florida affected by Hurricane Hermine. He signed the disaster declaration earlier today. The president's actions make federal funding available to residents and businesses in 8 counties, including Hillsborough. Assistance includes grants for temporary housing, home repairs, and low-cost loans. FEMA officials say they are still conducting additional surveys, and additional counties may receive assistance. Marina Jack along the Sarasota Bayfront announced it's merging with a Dallas-based company. ABC 7's Ray Collins has a closer look. Ray.
Yeah, a big surprise in the Bayfront, Haley, and it's unclear still what changes we may see in this. It's been an icon on the Sarasota Bayfront for nearly 50 years. Over 300 boat slips and several restaurants, and now its biggest change could be on the way. A press release says Suntex Marinas of Dallas will acquire certain interests of Marina Jack. Suntex manages 34 marinas in over a dozen states. The other sites in Florida are in Jacksonville and the Fort Myers area, including Snook Bite Marina, which they call Southwest Florida's finest full-service marine facility.
And bringing in some new fresh eyes, and I think hopefully it'll be a nice invigoration for the marina.
Richard Deere has docked his boat at Marina Jack for over a dozen years.
I think it's a good thing. It's great to see new things come to Sarasota. Hopefully the new company will bring a little bit more, into the business.
They have been a long-standing tenant of ours on the Bayfront, operating restaurants, the marina.
The city of Sarasota owns the property and leases to Marina Jack. But the deputy city manager says they were not involved in discussions. He says their tenant doesn't have to include them.
If it's a merger, they don't. And that's why we want to make sure that we take a look at it to ensure that, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed in terms of what the lease speaks about for these types of partnerships.
And though the city was talking, Suntex Marina didn't make themselves available for interviews, and Marina Jack refused. As for the workers, Suntex says all employees will be kept through the transition. Haley?
All right, thank you, Ray. And now it's time to get a check on our forecast and head over to Bob. Something is brewing in the tropics, Bob.
Yeah, it's getting bigger too, it looks like, at least better organized. Although the winds have come up just a little bit from the 11 o'clock advisory now. It's up to 65 mile-an-hour winds associated with this, and it is now in the Caribbean at this point. It has passed over the Windward Islands. The heaviest winds by far to the north of the center, and that's fairly typical with these systems as they move into the Caribbean and they start to get organized. The easterly trade winds kind of pick up and add to that wind, and they are experiencing some strong winds at Martinique. That's who have had the heaviest winds by far thus far. But you can see the upper level winds flow, at least the outlook as far as the overall outflow goes, looks a little healthier tonight. On top of that, there appears to be some drier air out ahead of it, though, and that is stopping the development. As far as the winds go, they're up to 65 miles an hour. It's still moving to the west at 15, and the forecast path and track really haven't changed much from the 6 p.m. advisory. You can see this big turn to the north. Most of the models are agreeing with that. However, there's still the European model, at least one of their models, suggesting that it may be out here in 5 days, while a reliable model is also suggesting that it may be over Haiti in 5 days from now. And then after that, all bets are off because there's a lot of different variables that will come into play. The high pressure that's driving this to the north may be a little stronger. If that's the case, then it's going to move closer to the state of Florida. If it's weaker, then it will stay away from Florida, at least further away to the east. You can see the enhanced satellite imagery showing the storm is really starting to develop now in the eastern Caribbean as opposed to the Atlantic, and they are starting to fire up a bit. Well, as far as the spread goes, again, the models are suggesting fairly consistent in the next couple of days, but then after that it spreads out. We'll show you that in a little bit, but storms are around right now. Much more in our forecast. Let you know about this storminess and whether it will continue tomorrow coming up in a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. A Florida appeals court has ruled a Sarasota high school student's tweet is not considered a criminal threat. A 3-judge panel overturned the juvenile delinquency ruling earlier today. The decision comes after several threatening tweets from a student in 2014, including one that read, "Can't wait to shoot up my school." The student's tweets were found by a company that watches social media for threats of school violence, and the company notified officials at Sarasota High. The appeals court ruled that the tweet is not a criminal threat, but also suggested that the legislature might want to look into updating the state's law against violent threats to account for the growing use of social media. Hundreds of fans are honoring the life of Miami Marlins pitcher Jose Fernandez. The 24-year-old was killed in a weekend boat crash along with 2 friends. St. Brendan's Catholic Church near Miami opened its doors for a public viewing this afternoon. People could be seen lined up for blocks. Some fans said they felt compelled to come because of Fernandez's popularity as a baseball player, but also as a hero to many in the Cuban American community. A private funeral is set for Thursday. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the official Suncoast forecast. Plus, a shooting at an elementary school in South Carolina, leaving students and staff injured, why the alleged gunman is puzzling investigators. Plus, another step forward in the fight against the Zika virus.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5. ABC 7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store of choice. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses